Yeah, I don't know. Oh, well, this is like, I don't know. I watched Gremlins last night, and the weird thing, I watched it because I was like thinking, oh, it's Spooktober,
Mm-hmm.
and I was generally like, oh, I kind of want to get into the mood of something spooky, but I wanted to like not watch something that like was an actual horror movie, even though Gremlins, honestly, and this is what I'm going to get to, I was genuinely terrified of Gremlins as a kid. And
yeah,
I think
same.
Yeah, I think you were too.
You remember the story?
Yeah.
Do you remember that, watching in the family room at the old house, and then like
Yes,
Dad had to sleep in like
I don't remember that.
my room or whatever because I was freaking out. It was horrible.
No, yeah, no,
Bad time.
that movie is genuinely traumatizing, and I don't understand why people think it's any bit a kids movie. Like, it's structured like a kids movie, but it's not. Like, there are horrifying, like, it's absolutely horrifying at parts. And it's like really like
the microwave
and
microwave part.
Yeah, the microwave, just the slices off the head of the gremlin into the fireplace. But the main thing that I found funny about it, I completely forgot that Gremlins was a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And it threw me off when I started watching it because I'm like all like, oh yeah, Halloween, creepy vibes, and then it's like, and they start playing Christmas music, and I'm just like, wait a minute,
right?
Wait a minute.
Talking about scary movies, once again, recommending that you should watch As Above, So Is Below, or whatever the title is.
Gotten that rec to me a couple of times.
That was my initial cold open thing, was going to be talking about Mackinac or something, because like, the island's haunted or whatever. I was like thinking, okay, how could I like turn that into a Halloween thing? But the last night there was like a TV in the room, and As Above, So Is Below is on Hulu, and I was like, let's watch this. 90 minutes, found footage, but it's not like super shaky cam, and it's very easy to watch. The plot's really cool. It's all kind of cryptic and like mystery solving, but also absolutely terrifying at times, but not in like a keep you up at night kind of way. Just in like there's some jump scares and some stuff like that. Such a good movie. Could not recommend it enough.
I've had like you and like my freshman year roommate Matt. He has recommended it to me.
Oh, really?
And I've also had other people that have watched it that I know that have hated it. And and they're not like not horror fans either. They like that stuff, and they think it's an awful movie. And I'm like, okay, well, but then you look on Letterboxd and it's like a perfect like 3.1 or whatever.
Oh, is it like right in the middle?
Middling, yeah. Where I'm just like, wow, I have the two opposite ends here.
Dust my hands off. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Limitless Parkcast. I'm your host, Andrew, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host / brother / amigo, partner in crime, Brandon. How's it going, Brandon?
Hey, it's going.
Yeah.
Speaking of ready to talk. What?
Oh, sorry. Before we talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, speaking of partners in crime, what's your favorite crime?
Parking violations.
Yeah, because you get out of them. You're so good at that. Wait, what?
Haven't talked about that yet. Yeah, I didn't get out of it. They put me in a long holding period and then deleted it for the holding period, so it didn't show up as having anything. And then they sent me an email back with no reasoning. And they were like, well, you're denied. And I'm like, oh, okay, what can I do now? They're like, you could appeal again. And I'm like, no, you're just going to send me another email with it saying no.
But you just continuously appeal. I wonder if you could just like do it until you graduate.
I think you can do it 2 times. You can appeal, but
bummer. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's stinky, but hey, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I do because, money, but
meh. It's over now. My favorite crime is arson, by the way.
I was going to say embezzlement, but that I thought, well.
That's another good one. Tax evasion.
See, that one's a little tougher,
It's tougher, and I guess it's kind of cliche. Like, it's so funny to say tax evasion.
No, my favorite crime is ambulance heists from the movie Ambulance.
Ambulance.
Yeah, ambulance.
Well,
God,
sick ambulance
movie.
reference. We're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about crimes. We're not here to talk about Ambulance, the movie from this year or last year. That was this year, right?
It would have been this year, yeah.
Ambulance,
wow,
2022. Yeah,
it's
been such a long year. I'm sorry,
but I'm not mad about it.
I am. No, I'm not actually. It's been a pretty sick year.
No,
but
it's
like it's just
pretty good year.
It's been one of those years where it's like there's a lot in 2023 that I'm looking forward to. Maybe not personally, but from a standpoint of like, okay, theme parks and
things?
Like just of things of commodities, media. So from that standpoint, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, 2022, solid 7 out of 10 year. We're not here to talk about years. Oh my God.
We're not here to talk about years.
We're not. We're here to talk about theme parks and such. And as you could tell by the cold open, it's the spooky season. So that means it's October if you don't live in a country that calls it the spooky season. And Halloween's coming up. I don't know if that's Brendan. I'm just trying to be, courteous of all our listeners.
I don't know. I've been told that we're good noise to listen to.
Told you that,
Harlan.
Nice.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It was a great comment, and I said I love being good noise.
I love that my voice can only be described as noise.
Well, she was like, I did a good new episode, but I didn't listen to it very intently. But it was good noise to listen to, or something Fair like enough. That. Yeah,
that's better than bad. It's better than
exactly
nails against.
I like being exactly. I like being listenable. I mean, your audio quality maybe isn't as listenable as we might like, but
yeah, well, that'll be fixed by
hopefully
next week. Probably, I'll get it shipped. Yeah, I guess that's not going to make it up into the episode, part of the beginning, but new mic coming soon. My old one was broke. That's your mic update. Were saying that Limitless Partcast mic update.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you weren't going to include this, but
no, I'm saying I wasn't going to include the previous thing. I was definitely going to include the Limitless Park mic update.
Okay, Jambo.
We're not here to talk about any of that. We're here to talk about theme parks. And before we get to the spooky stuff, just a couple bits of news. We don't have to dwell on it too much, but Hurricane Ian, it's by now it's long. I feel like it's old news at this point, and I'm saying that from the standpoint of theme parks, not obviously the devastation and flooding that's going on mostly on Western Florida right now. Obviously, terrible stuff.
Everyone that's been affected by that, thoughts go to you guys.
Yes.
Hope you're doing okay.
There was just one little thing on the theme park side that I caught my eye on Screamscape. This was like yesterday or something that I saw it. And did you see the pictures of Jurassic Park or Jurassic World in Universal? Yeah, it's Jurassic Park, like the river boat ride in Universal Islands of Adventure, and like the giant hole that got ripped in the side of it?
No, I did not.
Oh. I forget you're not on Twitter. It's like
I'm not on Twitter, and I also don't follow like theme park news as much as most theme park fans would.
Right. Fair enough.
Like I'm reading the article here, and I don't see any pictures of the actual thing, and that's what
I'm trying to scroll down. I don't see it because this was just an article that was referencing, or just a little tidbit that was referencing that it was back open despite. Just look up like Jurassic here. Let me see. Jurassic Park River Adventure Hole. Oh yeah, it's like all that comes up if you search that.
Okay.
It's like the second photo.
Looking. Oh yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. It just like
a little bit of siding off.
Right. So that happened, a few days
ago. But it's already open.
Yeah, it's already back open. So I don't know I don't know how that happened or how they were able to repair it. I mean, I guess it's just siding, but still, that looks like a big hole.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it happened
can do some nasty stuff. So
right, happened last week, and it was it was like Wednesday or Thursday or something, and then it was already. This was this thing on Screamscape was from the 2nd, so I think it was the 1st that it was already repaired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy.
Just insane. I don't know how they did that. there's a whole,
wow. I see like the flooding on Hulk. I don't know if you were going to get to that.
That was fake, I believe.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I might be wrong.
In a different picture. But if that it was real, that's crazy. If it wasn't, why are we faking hurricane damage?
Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like an odd thing to do.
It's an odd meme thing. That was the whole thing. And I could be very, very wrong. Maybe it wasn't faked and maybe they just drained it. But there was a lot of like Twitter meme stuff going on around like theme park and Diz Twitter of just like, oh, Hulk is a water ride. Ha, ha, ha. That's so funny. And then like there was a picture from that Bio Reconstruct Twitter account that showed like an aerial view of Hulk, and it didn't look like there was any flooding in the tunnel. So I don't know if they just drained it or if it was real, but yeah, I guess it's a positive to see that Jurassic Park is, open somehow. It's just, big corporations, I guess. This caught my eye this morning as I was reading. I don't know if this was in Blue Loop or Screen. I think it was, I don't know. I think it was in like Blue Loop, but it's on this IAPA like website. And I've never heard of SimWorks before or Catapult. I guess they build dark rides and stuff like that, but they're making this like dark ride thing that's a trackless ride vehicle.
Or basically, it's a concept.
It's a concept. It's not an actual ride yet. Nobody's like bought it, at least to my knowledge from reading the article. But the whole idea of it, and this is just the theme that they put in place, is it's cops and robbers. So there's one side or one vehicle path that's like the cops and one that's the robbers. And you get to kind of choose which one you want to ride in, and therefore it's two different experiences. Combine that probably with, I would assume, trackless tech, which goes different places depending on where it is. And I'm sure you could have lots of different varied options. And there's like, it's a pretty detailed briefing about everything that this just potential concept of what this is could do, and how there's like a speed chase at the end, and then they all veer off at the end to their unloading stations and like a crash building. So I just thought it was really cool. We don't have to go into the like actual tech of it or anything like that. I'll include the article in the show notes, but I guess just this idea of like multi-experience attractions, it's not that new, because as you were mentioning off, screen, or I was like, there's Dueling Dragons as like a coaster, or there's other dueling roller coasters like Matterhorn, but I can't really think of a trackless dark ride or any dark ride that's like, different paths in the same attraction. Like obviously Rise of Resistance does that, and there's varied experiences, but this is totally like one side is one thing. It's like a good, bad, type scenario of like you're on one team or you're on the other team, and it could be applied to so many different things. So do you have any ideas of what, maybe if Disney or Universal could use this, and like what IPs
or theme it to?
Yeah, because I think this is so cool.
Better question is, do you have something that you would think? Because I'm trying to. He didn't tell me this ahead of time, folks. I mean, he actually did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I put the show notes.
I didn't look at it. So yeah. I need to.
It's Brandon's fault
for a second. Yeah, it is.
Bad co-host. Bad. So automatically I go to Disney first, just because it's, they're the dark ride kings and the trackless tech kings, in my opinion.
They are.
And even if they didn't use this SimWorks tech, maybe they do their own thing like this. And you can't do Star Wars. I would really love to see, like, maybe this is not just one or two teams. Maybe it's just like two, instead of two teams, it's multiple, but like almost like, that multiverse attraction that's coming to Avengers Campus. Mm-hmm. What if they had like 16 different ride vehicles? I don't know how many Rise of Resistance has. I would assume the capacity is going to be the same, and maybe it's more than that. I have no idea. That could be a very low amount or a high amount, but let's say it's like 16. And each ride car is a different hero. And somehow they could like portray that hero via that car, so you're assisting that particular hero, and maybe the screen is fixated on a little more. I know that's not the specific concept, but like just the idea of a multifaceted experience where you have to enter the line and go into, different ones at different times. Or maybe even, I don't know, like it would be so cool to like, this wouldn't happen in Avengers Campus, but like Civil War, where you have like Iron Man's team or Captain America's team and having that fight, and you're like either aiding, Iron Man's side or Cap's side. I just think when I think teams and things fighting things in like group scenarios, as far as IP goes, I go to Marvel or I go to DC, but Six Flags isn't going to do that. So yeah.
True. Very, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something that would work well as a two narrative kind of thing, but I'm kind of drawing a blank here. But it does, I will say that the concept is cool via the aspect of being able to do two narratives and have them interact with each other. And it's like, just even going off of this, like the overdrive is what they call like their concept in like the article and whatever is like that's the concept of the ride, but with the cops and robbers kind of thing. So if we didn't have a terrible, and I mean absolutely terrible, even though I haven't ever ridden it, attraction known as Fast and Furious Supercharged.
Oh my God.
You could do a Fast and Furious if you didn't want to do because it feels like they don't want to do a roller coaster with Fast and Furious for some reason, even though that could make sense. But if you want to do something more narrative based, you want to add in screens into it, and you want to do it like dueling, because that would make more sense. And either you could have like the cops kind of chasing them, or that's not how the Fast and Furious franchise really works anymore. So you could just have two rival people. So I think that could be cool. Like one of you guys could be with the family, and then another group of people could be with Charlize Theron's people or whatever. Whatever the latest villain is. Yeah.
Wait, no, that's okay. My exclamation at the beginning there was because that is, I think it actually mentions being like based off of like high speed chase things like Need for Speed or Fast and the Furious. But I didn't think about that, of like how perfect that would be to,
it actually literally,
it does mention
says it in the it mentions Fast and Furious in the
inspiration
article.
And
I promise
GTA.
that I didn't look at it. But
I forgot about it. That's perfect. And like,
no, I think that's like the one thing I could think of.
Yeah, because it fits in with like cars, and apparently, if they were to use this tech, for instance, like the vehicles could reach like speeds that are like higher than any other trackless tech that's been created so far. So like, it could simulate that. They already have like the idea of simulation or simulating high speeds. So, that would be so perfect. It could be Fast and Furious family versus foe, or family or foe, or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know how this would work into a dueling attraction, but what I really do want, I want a Minions dueling attraction. I mean, they already have the Despicable Me ride, and then they're getting a Minions like show or whatever where Shrek was, or something where Shrek was.
Pretty sure it's actual ride.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
I think so.
Well,
maybe it's just a flat ride.
Now.
Okay.
That can just be this.
Okay. What is, you just want it to be a Minions?
I don't know. I just want it to be Minions.
Okay.
For Hispanic historical or what it's Hispanic
hysterical. Yeah. That's terrible. We gotta cut that out.
I said historical.
Yeah.
Hispanic Heritage Month. That's related to something else, guys.
It's a very niche reference to our local chain back in Wisconsin. Marcus Theaters put out something that's like they're celebrating like Hispanic Heritage Month.
They're doing Hispanic Heritage. Oh my God, Hispanic. Oh my God, guys. and we're just
Asparagus Heritage Month.
So bad. Yeah, they're doing Hispanic Heritage Month.
I can't say month.
Like showings for just different movies for Hispanic Heritage Month. And so there was like Encanto, but then there was also Minions: The Rise of Gru. But the weird thing is one, the Minions: Rise of Gru, they already have like a different way to like select that movie to go see because it's still in theaters because kids love Minions. And that one has the normal poster for Minions: Rise of Gru, but this one has a different poster in which it's like I don't know if his name is Stuart or Bob or whatever, but he's in like a really weird outfit, and I don't know how that correlates to the Hispanic Heritage Month thing. But also, the Minions don't speak Spanish. It's like their language is close to Spanish. It's one of the languages that is closer out of all the ones, but it's supposed to be a mishmash. That's what the Minions do. But so I'm just wondering, do Hispanic people just love Minions? I mean, I think we all do, but like at the same time,
I think Marcus Theaters is a little out of touch.
I also was like, is this problematic via Marcus Theaters?
Yeah. I'm
calling you out.
Yeah, come on, Greg. I'm going to include the picture that you sent me in the show notes. I'll find a way to put it in because that's too funny to cut, even though we definitely messed up our wording a little bit there.
Wording.
All right. Well, that does it for news and Minions chat.
Yep.
Now let's talk a little bit about Halloween, because nothing says October 31st like October 3rd, right?
That is so true.
I don't have any specifics. I listed out some categories here. What you got? What?
Well, just the reason we are talking about we're just going to talk about some of our favorite Halloween things in theme parks, the theme park world, and also some of our not favorite things, just because it is spooky season. We're ramping up into it, and we do tend to enjoy the spooky season. Definitely Andrew and I in different ways, but
we're gonna reminisce. We're gonna reminisce a little bit. Yeah, that's a little disclaimer. Well, I know I put it at the bottom, but two disclaimers. One, like you said, we enjoy Halloween in a bit different ways. I'm very much into the horror aspect and the haunted houses, and I mean, October is my favorite month, hands down. Halloween's my favorite holiday. I treat the whole month like Halloween. If I can do something about it, that's how I do it. And how would you say you enjoy the spooky season?
I like the weather.
Yeah, that's perfect too.
That's just fall, but no, I like the vibe of Halloween, not like the spooky vibes, kind of, even though I have grown much more of an appreciation for horror movies. I love Evil Dead. I love the Evil Dead franchise. But I'm not like, I don't like haunted houses. They're not for me. So that's like a disclaimer for everything. And I think that is important though, from the aspect of, we do have someone on here who does very much so enjoy the haunted house, but not a lot of people, or not everyone does. Like, I don't think I'm in a minority here in saying that I'm not like the biggest fan of all the haunted houses and scare mazes and stuff like that. So I think that's an important perspective to keep in mind when you talk about Halloween in theme parks, because although, yes, scare zones and thrill, like scare mazes and all that kind of stuff, those are themed thrill things that a lot of people that go to theme parks like thrills. They also like thrills from haunted houses, but not everyone does, and not everyone that goes to theme parks likes the thrill. So it's just the dichotomy there. Right.
If anything, I would say I'm in the minority, at least from my circle of friends, and just people that I surround myself with. I think that horror in general is something that I press people toward, but it's very, very much like a tough thing to convince people at times, obviously, just in general. But for instance, going into favorite events, Kings Island, I know it's the second one listed here, but that was, really last year, the first time that I, really coerced you to do a haunted event, and you did a like one of the haunted houses there. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in the old Tomb Raider building.
Yep, which Andrew didn't know was the Tomb Raider building until I pointed it out, and that was also my first time at Kings Island.
Right. Yeah, I did not watch that Defunct Land video at that time yet, so I know there is one in it. And once we did that, I watched it and went back. But I mean, yeah, Kings Island. I think that's something that you and I enjoy though. At least like what were your impressions? I know it's been about a year since then, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, so. That was my first time at Kings Island. We went in October for one of their, I don't know what they're called. What are they called? Fright Nights?
Haunt. I think it's Kings Island Haunt. Yeah.
Okay. I honestly had no idea.
They're all the same.
Yeah. Really. As a person who didn't really want to do any of the, the actual scare mazes, I was fine with like the scare zones or whatever. I've been in those previously. Like I've been through one because we'll get into it later, but Six Flags Fright Fest or whatever, not a fan. But basically I would say like I went into the day, I was kind of like nervous the entire day because I was happy to be there for the coasters because I'd never been there and there was a lot of cool stuff. But everything else I was like, I don't want to do this. And Andrew was very stern on wanting to do at least one.
Said we got to do at least one, Brandon.
And I was meh about it. But we ended up doing it. But as Anders said with the fact that it was in the Tomb Raider building, the best part of that entire thing was that I literally didn't look down for most of it. I looked up at the ceiling because you go into the giant ride building and the thing's like very tall. And there's so much theming above you to look at that's like left over from the Tomb Raider building. And that's all I was looking at the entire time. So I only got spooked once because I wasn't paying attention to get spooked the other times. But just more generally with the park during that time, it was amazing. Like what a time for my first time to go to Kings Island. Like, I mean, that's also just has to do with the fall, but like all the decorations were very nice there. There was the one scare zone kind of thing with all the pumpkins.
Pumpkin eater or something like that.
Yeah, but even just during the day, that thing is so beautiful because like just everything looks fall like. And then also the only other thing that I could think of that really stuck out to me was the tower or what's it called?
Eiffel Tower or something.
Oh, okay.
It's the Kings Island Eiffel Tower, I think. Yeah. I don't know if it has another name.
I assumed it did because I wasn't going to call it just the Eiffel Tower because it's not.
It's the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. But
whatever.
That they have the lighting on that at night, and then they also have like the flames in they have the fire pyro effects in the lagoon kind of thing out front, and that was just like very cool, and it was nice. Yeah, it's just a nice park for the fall Halloween season.
Kings Island is such a beautiful park in general. Like it's no Disney or Universal, but as far as I'm concerned, it's the next best thing after that. It looks nicer than Cedar Point, in my opinion. There's such a fun vibe there, and the Halloween carries on. I always think of that pumpkin one. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me. And then, the main area with the fire effects is so cool. The music is such a nice vibe, and I really like the Coney Mall thing. It's like Coney Mall, but spelled Maul. There's there's a haunted house because I've done the Halloween event. That the time with you last year was like my third time doing it, so I've done a few of the houses now, and the one that sticks in my mind that I love is I think it's called Killmart, and the whole theme is like it's like a grocery store, and it's not like a super cohesive theme because it's really just grocery store but make it horror, and there's some gore here and skeletons there, and there's not like a story to it, but just the fact that it's in like a grocery store and has that visual theme, it's so fun. It's like more fun than there's like I remember there only being like 2 actors, so it's not that scary, but they just do a really good job with that.
Mm-hmm. And I actually forgot about this other thing that I was going to mention. In the line to go to the Beast, there's like next to the Beast, there's a scare maze in the back kind of thing, like in a shed kind of next to the loading area for Beast. And it was cool because they had like the scare actors kind of like, there was the line for it to go to the actual maze that was like going back there that you could see from the Beast's line. And then they would have scare actors come up and spook the people in line, while they were in line for the scare zone and you were in, or the scare maze, while you were in the line for the Beast. And it was fun to watch people get spooked when you were at no scare or no fear of getting spooked. I mean, that's probably my enjoyment of it, but that was fun.
No, I agree. I forgot about that one. And I don't know what the name of that one is, but I've done it. I think I did it my second time
or something.
Yeah, something like that. But I love watching that at like, from the Beast just as much as you did. And I mean, it's not strictly Halloween related at all, but you probably get the best chance of doing it during that season is the Beast Night Ride, which is like the ultimate coaster experience. So
yes,
it's perfect. Yeah. Love Kings Island. I really hope, I don't know if you'll have time in your schedule. I don't know if I will, but I love that event so much. Would love to do it this month. If not, then there's always, 2023. On the lighter side, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, a staple of your and my childhood,
a very big staple.
Huge. Honestly, I would attribute that to so much. I mean, we would always go in fall as kids. So that was like,
the reason
that was the thing that you would do there. But like, just that vibe in general and the overlay, even though, I was such a scared little kid back then, and even Mickey's Not So Scary freaked me out. But like, even that, I attribute that to so much of my love for theming, and not just theme parks, but like, the idea of like an overlay and a seasonal vibe of a place. I really wish that like they could somehow expand Halloween to the other 3 parks. And I know maybe they do a little bit with decorations, but like, like some sort of maybe slightly more adult one at Hollywood Studios or something like that. Or like it could be corny, but like a Galaxy's Edge, like make it like maybe they have their version, they had like the version of Christmas that's super dumb.
Yeah.
I just love Disney's execution of Halloween and want to see it more. And I really think that that's like a reason why I love like the holiday so much. So love it.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to expansion of like the Halloween theming to other parks, but I would love to see Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard in like light Hollywood theme or light Halloween theming. That's always been something to me that's been like, oh, that would look really cool, even though I'm not like, again, a huge spooky guy, like, because it wouldn't have to be spooky, it would just be kind of like eerie, and that's like that just fits into the Hollywood Tower of Terror.
It's like Main Street, honestly. Like, I mean, maybe do a little bit more than that, but oh man, that would be so cool to like maybe make Sunset Boulevard as a whole feel kind of run down, just like how Hollywood Tower of Terror does, but like still have maybe make the music a little distorted. You can make it kind of creepy, put on some sort of Halloween phantasmic show, or like get rid of Beauty and the Beast, at least temporarily.
And Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy could get a nice overlay for Halloween, like they do of all of Cars Land.
I would say it actually could. Like, there's like literally like Halloween shorts for Cars that could actually make that attraction like enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, and
have you ever done that?
Broader? No, I haven't. I know it's weird though, because you're on benches.
Yeah.
So
strange.
But just in general with Mickey's Not So Scary, I agree though, it as a kid it really was like one of the formative things. It was a staple. Not that I gained a love of Halloween from it, but just like it was just always like a fun thing, and it actually made like dressing up for Halloween fun, even though I don't really have memories of what I dressed up as for most years.
I could tell you so many of them, Brandon. And once you're done, I'm gonna give a quick story. I could say a couple
of them. I think it's a shame because I know that party is no longer as good as it was for when we were kids, and maybe like, and that's has to do with the whole Boo Bash thing, and then them not bringing everything back. But it's like, it is weird because this year they haven't brought as much back as like the previous Not So Scary, but it's more than Boo Bash for what the previous years were. And we might get into this, but I do want to talk about Oogie Boogie Bash, even though I've never been, but I want to talk about it because it seems like the greatest Halloween thing for people that don't want to go to Halloween Horror Nights.
I don't know too much about it, but I have heard that it's really good. Yeah. Mickey's Not So Scary. Definitely, even I think back to when we would go, it was fun as kids, but like, I think the latest we went was 2015, and that's getting a little older and starting to realize like there's not much there to begin with. It's a few shows, a parade, fireworks, and then some candy, and then like some like quote unquote overlays of like Space Mountain lights off.
Meet and greets.
And meet and greets. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, which is cool.
That's what they cut this year, which makes it weird, but
right. It's cool. It's just so interesting to me that it really doesn't, when you look at all that stuff, there's nothing super substantial in my eyes because it's not like a usual theme park event with Halloween like haunted houses or scare zones, but still it's such a fun vibe to where I would love to go back. Like that's an event. It's probably my favorite like Disney ticketed event thing that they do, or like even like over like Epcot's like Food and Wine, stuff like that. Like, yeah,
I would tend to agree with it. I mean, the Villains Party, the after hours
you
thing,
said that was really cool.
It wasn't even cool from the aspect of like Mickey's Not So Scary was actually cooler, but from just purely getting on rides things, those after hours events were insane. Like, especially like the non-crowded times of year ones or like the non-AP ones or whatever. Like they're just insane of how light the crowds were. But yeah, no, Not So Scary is fun though. It's nice memories. Yeah.
For the interest of time, I'll save my little story about costumes.
Oh, shame.
No, well, I think because I mean, obviously October continues, so we can talk more about it.
Very true.
I'll save it because I think it's a really good little funny thing. Keep the audience coming back for more. Little tale of Andrew and his little Spider-Man costume. We'll do that for later.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, that's Mickey's Not So Scary. You want to talk about Fright Fest, or you want to talk about stuff we haven't done?
I think we talk about things we haven't done, so we can end it with my great rant of great rants.
I was going to say, I don't have too much to like defend Fright Fest with. So yeah, I mean, stuff we haven't done. Halloween Horror Nights. That's a huge one. At any park. We haven't done it at Orlando or Hollywood. That might be like the biggest event that I want to experience right now. And I don't know when it'll happen, but
yeah, it's a very big blind spot for us. But at the same time, I think I would enjoy it from a theming aspect, but then I remember the aspect that these things are actually scary because they're so well themed, and I think I would do terribly at them. Yeah. So, hey, so be it. Like the Stranger Things house looked cool, and just the concept of a lot of them. I've seen like a lot of behind the scenes like tours of everything of the houses that they do every year. Like there are people that take pictures during them, and they're amazing. Like if you haven't ever seen any of that, literally go look up like just like people doing pictures of the houses, or not like people taking pictures of the houses during the day tours. Insane, just so impressive. But yeah,
I haven't seen any of those, but I should, because that's the thing. I do want to like stay somewhat surprised about it in case I ever, do it. I was looking through because it's like through the list of haunted houses, because there's 10 right now. I know they switch them out, but I think the weekend one, I mean, I know Kyle said that it's not supposed to be that good. And I watched the vlog.
But it sounds cool.
It's just the concept of it's cool. There's like Halloween, like that, like the movie. Actually, wait, when is there a new one coming out?
Yes. It ends.
Yes, there is. Yes.
But Andrew, you shouldn't be excited.
Why?
Because Halloween Kills was terrible in your opinion.
Did you see it? Yeah, no, I know. It's disappointing, but Halloween, like the 2019, 2018 reboot, whenever it came
18.
out, 2018 reboot is so good to the point where I don't care how bad Kills was, because it's still left on a cliffhanger and I'm very interested and invested. That is like my favorite horror franchise right now, even though it's like not, I mean, I love the original Halloween movie. It's one of my favorites, but there's a house that's, themed to that. I don't know how long that's been around, but that's cool. There's Bloomhouse. There's Legends.
Well, Bloomhouse? You mean Blumhouse?
Blumhouse. My pronunciation. People don't come here for my pronunciation, Brandon.
Is you're saying all of the IP based houses, but all of the houses that are original theming, like I know there's like is it like Overgrowth, or there's one to do with like a gardening one this year,
Spirits
like,
of the Coven, maybe, I don't know.
No,
Bugs Eaten Alive. There's
Bugs Eaten Alive. That one's supposed to be amazing this year. Is there one to do with like like the sea or ships or something like that?
Dead Man's Pier.
Yeah, yep. I think that one might have been there last year. It might not have been, but I know that one's supposed to be very good this year. But the most interesting thing that I've always found, because I watch a lot of Halloween Horror Nights content, especially like Orlando stuff, even though I don't really like the idea of going to it. I watch a lot of the content on it. And the thing I find the most fascinating about it is not just people's rankings of the houses change over time as they experience them more and more, but what changes for a lot of people is not just their ranking because of their own experience, but legitimately the experiences change over time because certain people like scare actors get better at their job, and because of like pacing reasons. And so the houses change over time in their quality because they're people actually doing the work and they're getting more experience as they go on, or certain ones will lose their edge as they get on. It's a very fascinating like dichotomy as far as like live experience. And it's like, it gets into the same vein as live action theater and just like all that kind of stuff. But it is a fascinating topic to hear people talk about, of how the quality can develop over the season that these houses are open, just purely based on people learning about their own house.
It's ever evolving. That's really cool. But that is Halloween Horror Nights. Also, Hollywood's supposed to be really good too. I don't know too much about what's going on there, but that's always supposed to be really good. Yeah,
I don't know much about the Jupiter's Claim thing. I mean, I know that's
right.
Nope in general, but man, Nope is such a good movie. So
Nope is fantastic. And it's funny. I just learned like a couple days ago that was a thing. For some reason, that was back in July when that opened. And I missed the studio tour part of it. The news, I just wasn't following it. So I just learned about that a few days ago. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Yeah. Oogie Boogies, what did you have to say about that?
Oh, I just wanted to say that I think Oogie Boogies is amazing. And if you don't know anything about it, go watch, like, even if you're not a person that likes to watch like vloggers and things, just go watch some of the stuff from it, because one, the amount of awesome like meet and greets and like things. The coolest thing, this is so cool. I could go on to talk about this for ages, even though I literally haven't experienced it. They do their treat trails, like their trails for candy. They do them in lines for like meet and greets, but they're not like meet and greets, because you can like, you meet and talk, you can talk to the character, but it's like a constant, like you're walking past them, but you have like 30 seconds or whatever with the character. It's just like you can get a picture if you want to, but it's such a cool idea. Whereas when in Walt Disney World, you'll wait in a line purely for one character, and it'll take like up to like 2 hours because it's a single meet and greet, and it's actually functioning as a meet and greet. Whereas the lines to meet characters in Oogie Boogie Bash, they are literally like 20 minutes or 30 minutes to meet awesome characters, because everyone's constantly kind of walking past that. And there's also so many more characters to do. And so there's a lot more stuff to do. And it's awesome because it's all exclusive characters too. Like, the villains sometimes come out and Not So Scary, and they come out at Oogie Boogie Bash too, but they're not like super exclusive ones or anything. But at Oogie Boogie Bash, it is insane. You have Hades and Meg from Hercules. You have
that's cool.
Cruella from the live action Cruella. You have Sid from Toy Story. You have Agatha Harkness from the WandaVision. You have zombie Captain America from the What If series. You have so many other cool things that I can't think of right now, even though I know there's a bunch of other ones, but they are the most like, oh, and then you have like Oogie Boogie himself as like a walkthrough, like treat trail meet and greet thing, but it's in the building that they have like on whatever their boulevard thing is. I can't remember what the name of it is. But it's by the Monsters Inc. attraction, but it's a giant room with a bunch of screens because it's their like animation pavilion kind of thing. And it looks really, really cool in there because there's all these screens doing all the roulette things and all the like it looks very stylistic and Oogie Boogie-ish. And it's an amazing thing. They also have their Redwood Canyon Trail or whatever that's in the area with Soarin' and Grizzly Peak or whatever. I literally don't know the name of it, but that thing is also go look it up if you haven't ever seen it. It's amazing. It is light and smoke effects. It is like, it's called like the Villain's Grotto, or like turns into that. And it's like it's an amazing like sensory experience walkthrough thing. It's very cool. And yeah, I'm so jealous of literally everyone that goes to Oogie Boogie Bash because it seems amazing. That's I'm glad my Oogie Boogie Bash thing over. Other than also Cars Land October Halloween theming, even though that's always around, but that's also amazing.
I'm glad I know nothing about it because then I can't feel like I'm missing out. So we have Fright Fest to talk about.
As someone who's literally only been in the park for probably 1 hour of an actual like Fright Fest night thing, and walked through one scare zone. Yeah, I hated it, but that was also because I was younger and didn't enjoy it in that way. But yeah, I don't have too much to say on it other than my Blood Lake rant, but that could be saved for another date.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think next episode I share my little Spider-Man story. And then we do a not full, like it doesn't have to be huge because again, you haven't done the houses and I've done several of them many, many times. But we could do a pro con of Fright Fest in general and why it's, I mean, we're more on the same page than you think. Like it's the worst of the Halloween events, not counting like some haunted houses that I've done that are just individual. But I think that's a good intro continuation topic for Spooktober.
Keeps people interested.
Yeah, keeps people. Well, I think people are just coming back, fascinated. I think people want to know what I did in that Spider-Man costume, or what a certain little boy said
bratty little boy.
To me. Oh boy. Yeah. Stupid. All right. You got anything to plug before we wrap this up?
No. I didn't know we do plugs. I forgot.
We do plugs now because okay. I had something cool that I saw that's kind of theme park related. It doesn't have to be theme park related, but I had I saw that I thought was cool.
Go watch Gremlins. It's actually really fun. The scene in the bar is literally one of the best scenes in cinema history. It's amazing because the Gremlins get guns, guys. It's insane. It's great.
Gremlin gun. Yeah, go watch Gremlins.
That's what I'm plugging now.
That's a good plug. Go watch As Above, So Is Below. Obviously, that one's good. I'm going to plug this other. I was going to touch on this briefly. I don't have too much to say about it. There's this thing that I read about at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium in Ohio. I know, like, totally out of left field, but they do this thing called Zoom. It's like Zoombeezy Bay it's like Zombeezy Bay because it's zombie stuff. They take the Columbus Zoo is a giant zoo, and it also has like a water park and a mini theme park attached to it, like 2 roller coasters. They do this thing where they like overhaul the like the water park into like a scare like zone area with multiple haunted houses. It looks so cool. Maybe it's like a super common thing that everybody knows about, but it was the first time I had ever heard about it. I don't know if it's like something that they've only done a couple seasons, but it looks so cool. I would love to go to this someday. So go check out Zombeezy Bay at the Columbus Zoo. Why am I plugging the?
Well, I don't know.
I would say
like go look it up. I guess that's like you got me hooked to look it up.
Yeah,
like I guess my other plug is go look up Oogie Boogie Bash and watch people's content of it. It's literally amazing.
The plug section, the new plug section that we're doing for this podcast is actually just us like plugging recommendations for each other. Like it's not for the audience. If you're a part of the audience, don't do what we said. This is just for Brandon and I.
I mean, I was gonna say if I have another plug for you, but we can handle that later. But go watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners if you on Netflix if you are old enough to watch it. It's amazing.
I have no idea what that is.
It's an anime based on the Cyberpunk game, or based in the same world as the Cyberpunk game. But the Cyberpunk game is good now, so you can't meme on.
I was gonna say, is it super glitchy?
No, that's the thing. Is the game is now playable, and then they just released this, and now there's like renewed interest again in the game because you can actually play it, and the show is amazing if you're old enough to handle very, very graphic content.
I don't know if I'm old enough for that. Well, if you like what you heard, give us 5 stars. Or Brandon, what was your favorite crime again?
I said parking like violations, but I'm gonna go with embezzlement.
Embezzlement. So if you don't give us 5 stars, Brandon will embezzle you, and that's like a threat. That's not a good
$5
thing.
billion.
Yeah, he'll take all your money.
Actually work?
I don't know, but bigger question: are we allowed to like threaten people?
No, that's you have to make sure that it's said that it's not a threat, which when you said it was a threat, I was very worried.
Yeah, well,
it's not a threat.
It's
Disclaimer.
not a threat.
I won't. I totally won't embezzle you for $5 billion if that's even how it works. There's no implied sarcasm there.
I'm assuming it's just taking money, right? Like taking embezzle. I picture like like I'm embezzling. Like I'm. You can't see the hand motions.
What is the verb embezzling?
I embezzled.
No, but like, what does it mean?
Oh, I don't know. Embezzlement.
Theft or misappropriation of funds placed in one's trust or belonging to one's employer. Oh, it has to be via employer?
Okay, so we will steal from your employer. We won't.
No, well, I would have to steal from my employer, and I don't have an employer.
Huh. Well,
so I guess that's good, though.
Don't tell the audience that, then. Can your school be your employer? Can you steal from...
If I got employed by my school?
Unnamed university?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear.
This is going down a horrible rabbit hole of things that should not be recorded on a podcast.
Andrew, you want to answer hypotheticals?
Hypotheticals. That's would you or would you not embezzle from somebody? All right. Well, in conclusion, please give us 5 stars if you like listening to us. It means a lot. It makes it so Brandon and I don't cry as much. And
so that we don't have to embezzle $5 billion.
Exactly. Somehow it correlates. And hey, feel free to write a review, even if it's just like, "Hi Andrew, hi Brandon, love the podcast." Like, I mean, feel
it fills
free.
Me with serotonin.
Nice. All right. Well, I think that covers all our bases.
Serotonin works.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I do know how serotonin
fills me with methane.
Okay, well, adios, folks.
Later.